Welcome to the Pitcher Nail Down. I'm Jason Gilbo at JGilbo11. With me is Justin Elick at Big Italy 42. Breaking down pitching for tonight's slate. There's one clear-cut top option. Then outside of that, I mean, we got some decent names, but some of them are kind of rougher spots.
Yeah, I mean, price considered, of course, Greinke makes for a much better play on FanDuel, but his recent form is really second to none, especially his strikeouts recently. I mean, you look at what he's done over the past, 5 starts? He's got 48 strikeouts in 33 innings. He's pitching pretty deep into games. He did give up 4 earned last time out, but I mean, the guy's not giving up hits. Had 1 hit against Pittsburgh, 5, 6, 7. I mean, 2 11 strikeout games in that span, a 7, 8, and a 9. I mean, 10-3 on FanDuel is not too bad. 12K on DK seems like a lot, but I mean, it seems like he's got a really solid floor. And even though this one's in Chase Field, this is still a White Sox team that they are hitting better over the past couple weeks. Most of that due to Jose Abreu and that one huge game that they all had. But I'm really not concerned about that. I'm still seeing them as an average offense, and I think Greinke's the guy that you lock in tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, White Sox, as you said, they've been hitting a little bit better, but they've also faced a couple of lefties too over the last span of a week and a half or so. But still 27th in WOBA against righties, 22.4% strikeout rate. And as you said, Greinke, that strikeout rate's been up there. I mean, it's near Pineda for the slate. I mean, 28.6%. He doesn't walk a ton of guys. Hard contact, I guess, is a little bit concerned, but I guess you're going to look at that in Chase Field. Most of those guys are going to give up a ton of hard contact there. But I'm fine with him. I mean, he's the top option. I think just due to the lack of other arms on the slate, he's by far your safest.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, over the last 14 days, his strikeout rate's 36.5%. I mean, that's Chris Sale, Clayton Kershaw type numbers. So, yeah, I think this one, you kind of ignore the ballpark. I think it's just the only real slam dunk play tonight.
Yeah, I think so. And we move to Atlanta. You got Garrett Cole going against Atlanta, who's missing Freddie Freeman. That's just a huge drop off. A little bit of weather concern in this one, but definitely with a lower total. So if it does play, this is a decent spot if things can clear out.
Yeah, I mean, like you said about Freeman, obviously he's out for a while. They just got Matt Adams, who obviously is a huge step down from Freeman, but it's a team that has good numbers against righties, but you kind of throw those out the window because Freeman was having such a ridiculously good season. And, Cole hasn't really had much strikeout upside. He did have that stretch of 4 games where he had 7 or 8 strikeouts in every game. But, I mean, he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any game since the 9th of April. So as far as a cash game option, assuming that the weather's fine, he's a good option. 8 straight quality starts. He's going deep, 7 innings in 4 of the last 5. So, he's a guy that's going to limit the damage, despite the fact that this is kind of played as a hitter's park. So if the weather's fine, you're not really worried about in-game delays, then I think he's option number 2 behind Greinke tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's really hard to get because you look at a lot of these other teams. I mean, we have Pineda here going up against the same Royals team we just faced. I guess I'm a little bit worried about that. But yeah, I think for the most part, Cole does come in number 2 with weather considering. I mean, would you put Pineda ahead of him if the weather does look iffy?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pineda definitely has more upside. I mean, we don't love the fact that he's pitching in New York and the Royals are hitting finally over the last couple of weeks. But, upside-wise, I think Pineda is definitely ranked number 2 for me.
Yeah, I mean, strikeout-wise, 28% on the season. Doesn't walk guys. Yeah, the only ever knock against him is he just allows a ton of home runs.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, 1.9 per 9 this season? So that's way higher than his career average. You expect it to drop some from here on, but this in that ballpark tonight might not be the night that he lowers that number though.
Yeah, I mean, 25% home run to fly ball ratio. That's not going to happen, especially given the fact that he does have a 50% ground ball rate. So I definitely like Pineda, and we kind of move away. I mean, Angels Rays features 2 decent right-handers, I guess, with some potential tonight. I mean, I like JC Ramirez. I've used him quite a bit in the past. This Rays team, I mean, really boom or bust. I mean, they rank, top 10 in WOBA, ISO, hard hit contact against right-handed pitching, but they do have that huge 26% strikeout rate.
Yeah, and I'm so torn on this one, too, because over the last 14 days, Rays top 5 in WOBA and ISO, like you mentioned, as they kind of have been for most of the season, but 29.7% strikeout rate over that span. But JC Ramirez over the last 14 days has a 10.9% strikeout rate. He's only walking 1.8% of the batters, which is lowest on the slate easily, but something's got to give there. So either he's going to kind of fluke his way into some strikeouts. The swing strike rate really isn't particularly low, 9.3%. I mean, it's Garrett Cole's only 9.9, so it's not like his numbers are bad in that area. But I mean, he's a pitch to contact guy. He's not out here trying to blow anybody away. He doesn't really have that put away pitch. But I think at his price, if you're going to go with a cheap guy around that similar price, there's really not anybody that you think is in a decent spot. So if he can keep limiting hard contact, it's a pretty neutral field. I think he's a decent option.
Yeah, I mean, he goes deep into games, which is nice to see. I mean, as you said, his only real blow-up game came against Detroit, and that was in the first inning, and they bounced back and threw 7 innings. I mean, at his price, I mean, I guess you're just kind of looking for, 15 DK points to him. I mean, hoping that he can get into that 18 or 20 range. But, yeah, I mean, the strikeouts, I guess, is a little bit concerning over his last few starts, 2, 4, 2. He had 9 against Texas. But, I mean, Houston, Detroit, those are two teams, if you don't have that second pitch, you're not going to get a lot of strikeouts. Chicago was a little bit disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, really looking at his similar price tag, I mean, who else are you going to play down there? You could play Eichhoff, who, strangely, the Rockies have been better on the road than at home. Obviously, that's not going to continue, but, he has the stuff, but when he gets hit really hard. So I think he's a guy you could, if you're making a lot of lineups, you could throw him in one, but I mean, he's a fringe option at best for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, he's more of a multiple lineup type guy because, I mean, he does struggle against lefties, and really outside of Blackman and Cargo's not even been up to par this year. You're not worried about too many bats. So, I mean, if he can just dominate the righties, I mean, he actually might not be a bad GPP guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, you know how it is with the Rockies, and maybe people. I've seen some rumblings about talking about how the Rockies are better on the road this year. So maybe some people will have a little bit higher ownership on the Rockies than they should tonight. So if you're going for a really low owned guy, I mean, he has good stuff. He's just inconsistent.
Yeah. Outside, I mean, Michael Fulmer, a little bit too expensive, tough matchup for him on the road. I like Fulmer, but this is probably not the spot to use him.
I mean, that price tag is just, and he burned me last time out. DK wise on FanDuel, his last outing wasn't too bad, but I mean, gave up 10 hits in that last game against I think it was Baltimore, and I mean, did go 7 innings, but only 4 strikeouts, 10 hits, 3 earned. I mean, that was about as fringe of a quality start as you can get there. So, if he could get back to the high strikeout numbers, I would like him a little bit more, but I don't think this is a spot. He has quality start in every game, and that's all well and good. But if you're a 10K pitcher, you need to have some upside. And, outside of 2 games this year, he really hasn't had that. And Houston's got a ton of power.
Yeah, I'm worried about him tonight. I think secondary options, I kind of like Jake Odorizzi. And I don't actually mind him as a DK cash option for like an SP2 because 8,300 is not bad. I know he's been a little bit lucky in the BABIP department. It's below 200. That's going to come up at some point. This could be a lineup once again without Albert Pujols. I know Angels put up a ton of runs yesterday, but this is a lackluster offense outside of Mike Trout and Cole Calhoun. I'll give him a benefit of the doubt. So I kind of like Odorizzi. I mean, decent strikeout rate, doesn't walk a ton of guys, good ballpark. He's probably going to go out there, I would say, a floor of about 14, 15 DK points.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some good things going for him. I mean, 0.89 whip is really good. He's not giving up many base runners. I mean, he's not walking any, 1.7 per 9. Swing strike rate almost 12%. I mean, really, like you said, the concern with him is the fly balls. But, you take Albert Pujols out of that lineup, and you probably are being more generous to Cole Calhoun than I will be. I
was being generous. I mean,
you're being nice. He has those moments where you think he's going to be a good hitter, but he's just so inconsistent. So, I mean, really, in this one, if Odorizzi knows what he's doing, go back to the old guy who walks too many guys, gives up too many homers, just walk Mike Trout and then just make somebody else beat you, especially Pujols out of that lineup. I mean, I know that's obviously not the strategy. You're not just going to actually walk him every time, but pitch around him a little bit. If he hits you for a solo homer, like you said, with Odorizzi not having a lot of base runners allowed, I mean, if he hits a homer, 2-run homer, I mean, who else is going to hurt you in this lineup?
Yeah, I think Odorizzi is going to be the guy that grows on me more as the day goes on, just because price-wise, he kind of fits the bill for what you want. Because I just don't know if I can pair a Greinke and Cole or a Greinke and Pineda in cash games and still get the hitters that I want.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, you're gonna have to find somebody for cheap, and I'm fine with that option too.
Anyone else you want to talk about? Man, I think pretty much covered it. I mean, we're not talking Wrigley guys when blowing out there. Tomlin, Scott Feldman.
No, I mean, no, I think Tomlin's a bad pitcher, and I know there's some people who are fans of his, and I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, his stuff's decent, but in that ballpark in Cincinnati, there's no way I'm playing him tonight. Not a chance.
No, I'm not either. I mean, Jason Vargas.
They've been actually pretty good against righties.
Yeah, I'm stacking Reds tonight. I hate Josh Tomlin.
Yeah, me too.
So, Jason Vargas finally starting to probably regress a little bit here. We saw it last time out. Might be slipping a little bit. Any chance of kind of getting some low ownership here? I mean, everyone's going to be stacking Yankees tonight just because they went off against Vargas last time out.
I mean, I think he's going to be really low owned, don't you? I mean, you got from Kauffman to Yankee Stadium last start, got rocked by the same team. I mean, like we've said before, I'm still not a believer that he's all of a sudden just got it figured out. But and plus, I mean, you saw the strikeouts, 6, 8, 9, 5 over his first 4, 1, 6, 4, and 4 over the last 4. And I mean, that's against Tampa Bay, who strikes out a ton. White Sox, he had 1 strikeout, and they strike out a decent amount. I mean, I think his ownership will be low. So he has, I don't know, a shot at a quality start, I guess, is the best I'm going to give him. I don't think he has much upside in this matchup, but ownership definitely like sub 5%, I would think, especially on FanDuel.
Yeah, and dude's averaging 86 on his fastball.
Yeah, I mean, he could just get pummeled. I would not be surprised for him to get negative points.
37% ground ball rate. So I mean, the home run or fly ball ratio 3.4%. With guys like Judge and Castro and all those guys hitting for monster power this year, it's just like it's definitely a riskier move than you should probably take.
I didn't even see that number. 3.4.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's got to be tops in the majors, right? Or really close.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, on the slate, it's definitely the highest. I don't know what it does on the slate or on the whole season, but it's super low. It's not sustainable.
No, I mean, that's a ridiculously low number. So, yeah, I don't.
When Judge hits 3 homers tonight, it's going to jump up.
You said when he hits 3 homers?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Let's see. I'm trying to see as far as qualified pitchers. Okay. Qualified pitchers, the only ones with a lower home run to fly ball ratio: Jesse Hahn, 2.2%, and Danny Duffy, 3.2. So, yeah, and there's some pretty horrible pitchers down here at the bottom, too. So, he's not the only one getting lucky. Fulmer's down there at 8%, too.
So yeah, but Fulmer at least throws a decent amount of ground balls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vargas, that number, he won't be in the top 10 by the end of tonight. I'm saying he gives up at least 2 dingers.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. 2 to Judge at least.
Yeah. Judge is probably going to just do whatever he wants to do in that part.
All right, that's going to wrap things up. We don't have any other pitchers to talk about. The rest are crap. Stack against them. So,
yep.
Let's get some things up here. You can head over to DaveFantasyCafe.com. Check out our tools and content.